Hello, welcome to this Eyes of Harmony podcast. On this channel, we talk everything Doctor Who, totally Doctor Who, and
Yeah.
go back to that show. That was like my childhood, man. And yeah, we talk
it really was.
New Who, classic Who, and kind of upcoming news, and
everything in between.
everything in between, everything in between. And yeah, so this week we got the kind of finally got an official timeline for Timelord Victorious. I think last week, it was in last week's podcast, we were saying like, how do we even know what order everything's in and how to keep up?
Well, I mean, it kind of is and kind of isn't, because it's more of a release timetable than it is an actual, like, which chronologically goes in order. Like, perhaps we have to assume that
I think that is the
the
order
release
of the
order
story.
is the chronological order.
I think that is the case, in my opinion. I think it would be weird to do it out of order. Don't you think?
Yeah, you'd think so.
You'd hope.
You'd think so.
I'd hope. Oh God, please. It would be too confusing if it wasn't. Right, but okay, we've got the timeline here, and we're gonna just kind of have a look through it and kind of, just talk through it, see what we're interested in, see what we might get, might not get, who knows. But here we go. Woohoo! Wow, look at that. There's a live screen. Woo! So there we go. You can see my mouse, so you can say, oh look, who's this? This is us on the timeline. Well, hey, so apparently available now is A Dalek Awakens. This is a live experience in the UK only. I didn't know this was happening, but apparently there's is there a live experience? Well, there must be a live experience.
What, for the A Dalek Awakens?
Yeah, because if you look down here, there's a key for like the color, so the circle that's around it matches the color of what it is. So we've got oh, that wasn't as big a zoom as I thought it was going to be. But we got Dalek Awakens. So that's apparently a live event. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that.
So what a way to kick off Timelord Victorious with an event that I don't know about. I know more about Time Fracture.
I think I heard something about that. I don't remember what it is.
Thing? VR event?
I thought it was actually, but maybe.
Who knows?
I don't know.
So then 2nd of September, which is coming up soon, is Defender of the Daleks, Volume 1, which is 10th Doctor comic. I think, it's looking at this, it doesn't look as much. I guess it depends how much the comics are and then how much everything else is. I think that's what will really
probably the same as how the comics generally are, but I don't know how much the comics generally are because I've never collected the comics. So
I think maybe around like £5 to £7. I think in that range, which is okay, but I don't know. What I'm surprised though is that they've got the annual, so part of the story must be in the annual then, like enough a comic. Is what I'm guessing, because the annual 2021 annual's released so early. It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
September.
I mean, it's tradition for me to get them at Christmas.
Ooh, so you can let us know. What, I haven't got a Doctor Who annual since maybe, I think it was series 5. Yeah,
oh,
Matt
really?
Smith's. Yeah,
wow.
Matt Smith's.
Because I've got them. I've got 2007 to 9. 2011, and then every annual from 2013 onwards up to 2020.
Damn, son. I hope you've been doing all the games in them. I hope you've been doing the crosswords. I hope you've been doing the mazes.
I just flick through it.
Oh.
I mean, plus I've also got 1979 and 1980.
Oh, was that
1979 being the one my dad had as a child, and 1980 being a one I found in a secondhand bookshop, actually about to be put out. So cool. Because it hadn't been put on the floor, they actually had to give me it cheaper because there was some reason for that.
Oh.
I think like it was a massive book barn. It was like huge. I don't remember where that was exactly.
That's pretty crazy.
But it was massive. Like the whole building was massive.
Where was? Do you know where it was, or don't remember?
I'm trying to think. It was somewhere in the UK. It was.
There we go. That narrows it down.
Somerset. Yeah, I know, right?
Somewhere in the UK.
I don't remember. I don't remember exactly.
Awesome. Okay, that's interesting. So then it looks like the Doctor Who magazine, Monstrous Beauty, Volume 1. I guess that's in the Doctor Who magazine comic page at the back.
Yeah.
I do love Doctor Who magazine. It's actually very, very well written when I do pick them up. Usually I get them around the series though, or if there's just one which stands out to me. Haven't got it for a while though, because there wasn't anywhere near me that supplied it when I was up in London, which kind of sucked.
Oh, really?
You'd think in London that it'd be quite easy to find, but I never found it.
Because I just headed into town where I am and got it in WH Smith.
Yeah, I went to WH Smith a couple of times. They never had it in, which was annoying. Maybe it's because I don't get many in, and there's just some people who just buy it very quickly, before I got there. Because I did really want that. I think it was like Moffat and Russell T talking about their time or something, like a reflective. It was it looked good, and I sadly didn't get it. Then we've got a book. The first book, The Night, the Fool and the Dead. We talked about these kind of in a podcast earlier on, if you want to go back and kind of hear our thoughts on those ones. But overall, we thought the books sounded pretty damn good. Very intriguing, very interesting. So then we got the kind of the master audios, which is like the multi-master story, which looks interesting. So they're both short trips. I guess you get those in a box set, don't you? You kind of get both.
Yeah, you get those in a box set, and they just, unlike the full like audio dramas, they're just like one narrator, kind of reading the story and doing the parts and whatnot, as opposed to the other big
like
finish where you have like a full
ensemble. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how like kind of the Dying Master kind of plays into it, because obviously like it looks like crosses all three masters, Delgado, the Dying Master, and which is still kind of Delgado, really, isn't it? It's not like it's a different iteration. It's just the same guy, but just kind of really dead.
Yeah, just melted.
I'm melting. Bit like maybe that's what Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Maybe that's what he looked like under the mask, just with crazy eyes. I mean, he's got the freaking ping pong ball eyes,
Yeah,
it's
I can see.
I can see this crossover. It's all one universe. That's actually, wouldn't that be a good concept for an episode? Like somehow, like cartoons or something, like in a reality with cartoons. I think that would be really interesting. Like I know they did the 2D creatures with like
then people would just compare it to Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. I don't know, it'd be an interesting...
Well, I mean, wasn't that sort of Fear Her?
Yeah and no. It's not like characters coming to life off the screen. Like, it's kind of a closer... I'd say Flatline's closer to, actually. See, all my interest is how did... So in Flatline, when people became 2D pictures, they all died. But in Fear Her, they're perfectly fine in paper form.
Because of the different energy, I guess.
Yes.
The energy of the beast dad makes them sustainable.
There we go. Is that really the name of it?
No.
I was going to say, like, that would have been weirdly impressive if you remembered the name of a creature from...
Nah.
It's just brothers and sisters.
Well, it wasn't even the beast dad. It was that thing in the stone time ship, whatever that was called.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember that one. Actually, no, I remember it stupidly well, because I think it was one of the first that I had. It was one like on a VHS that I had recorded.
I had that on DVD, so I watched that
quite a few times.
constantly.
I never hated it as much as other people. I knew it wasn't as good, but I don't know. What I really liked about it was
but I wouldn't class it as like the worst of the worst. I think there are far worse episodes in Doctor Who history than that.
At the time, I was like, it was cool because it was like not the too distant future, but now it's like actually quite far in the past now. That's the kind of mind-boggling thing. Like when we watched it, it was 6 years in the future. Now it's over 6 years in the past. It's almost 10 years in the past. It's
it's true. That
it's kind
is
of mind blowing, and weird to think, that when it was made, it was set. Same with Dalek. When it was made, it was set in the future, but now it's set in the past. Like, yeah.
It is all usually the way with time travel.
It's just so.
Eventually, you'll catch up.
Yeah, I guess when you go the linear way, you do eventually pass through it. Then we got the He Kills Me Not, which is the Eighth Doctor audio. The audios are probably what I don't know. I can't say which I'm more interested in, the books or the audio. Because
me probably the audio, but
I think in terms of like hearing like 10th and 8th Doctor come together, maybe. Oh no, is that only in book form actually? I think it is actually. Looking at the list, like actually like Paul McGann and David Tennant acting across each other. I don't think that actually happens in any of these. Because the only one where they're actually all kind of in the thing is here.
I think there is. There's one I saw on where there is a crossover between the two of them.
Oh, maybe it's Echoes of Extinction actually. These two here.
Yeah.
But so then we got there's Monstrous Beauty 2, which it looks like it's the Doctor Who magazine looking by the release date, each month.
Yes.
Dalek Emperor and Dalek Drone. I think maybe
which they're using the War of the Daleks design, the Emperor Dalek, which is interesting.
It's a nice design.
The gold.
I think the
big-headed dome Emperor Dalek.
I think the name could have been somewhat. It sounds a bit like a weird kids show, Dalek Emperor, like Pinky and the Brain or Pinky and Perky, like that kind of. Dalek Emperor, Dalek Drone. It's just like how they've got.
What are we going to do today, Emperor? Same thing we do every night. Dalek Drone try to take over the universe.
Exactly that, and then just have a Murray Gold version of Pinky and the Brain, but with Dalek singing it. That's all we need from life. But it kind of, I don't know, just the way they've got them set up in there. Does it look like two kind of characters? Like, I don't know. It just, to me, it looks like a weird kid show thing, but I don't know. To me, maybe it's just me.
I guess it's a glance.
But and then we've got Dalek Commander and Dalek Scientist. Oh, these are merchandise. Oh, so
merchandise,
so they're going to release. Oh, that's why it's just the names. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Right, and then they're going to release, which they haven't shown those off yet. I know that one merchandise sold so quickly, actually, didn't it? They released 2 Daleks from like Peter Cushing movies or something. It was the blue one, the blue Dalek.
Something like that, yeah.
Like, they sold out so quickly, apparently, which is pretty crazy. I don't know why they did
I think specifically, wasn't it not just the one from the Peter Cushing movie, but it was actually the Peter Cushing Daleks that they repainted.
Oh, from The Chase. Yes, from The Chase.
Yes, The Chase, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, but I don't know why they did a pack of 2. I feel like, it's like, why would I want 2 identical Daleks? I don't know. To me, it would be like, I don't know. I felt like maybe I'd want at least a variation. I want 2 exactly the same.
And I had a few issues ordering from Eagle Moss, so I'm not going to buy them anyway. I don't think I'm buying anything from them again.
What happened?
Well, I was for Father's Day. I decided I was going to buy for my dad. Like, it was because they had like some offer on, with like discounts for Father's Day. So I was going to buy him a USS Enterprise from Star Trek, because he's a big Star Trek fan, just as a model. And so I pay for it, seems to go through all right. I get my confirmation email, and I wait, and nothing turns up. So I emailed them to ask what's going on, and they said they never received the payment, despite it all processing. And on my bank statement, it said it had gone through. So I asked the bank about it. They gave me like, it's probably, I think it was like some sort of limbo, but like it was more on their side and they could clear it up. And they had like a transaction number and everything. So I tried to relay this information back onto Eagle Moss, and then nothing, no response. And then I tried again, no response. Tried again, no response. I opened a new thread, no response. And like by this point, it'd been like 2 months since. Jesus. I didn't get a refund, and they never responded to me even when I made new like inquiries. So like I'm just not buying anything from them ever again.
That's shit. Oof.
Yeah.
Boo. Boo them. Well, I hope everyone who has ordered from them doesn't have that same kind of fucking crap. That's not good. There are. Do you have the opposite of a sponsor? Unsponsored.
Pay me.
Yeah, pay us.
Give me back my 20 quid.
Yeah, this week we're not sponsored by them. What's their name again?
Eagle Moss.
Eagle Moss. We're not sponsored by Eagle Moss because they steal from the poor and keep for the rich. They're backwards Robin Hoods. How dare they? That's awful. I don't think I've ever had an experience like that, actually. Like where I've had any issues with a delivery. I think maybe one time something came really late, but
yeah, I've only like only recently. Like I've had a few issues, so usually they get back to me.
Yeah,
and we get it sorted out. But like as the last year, I think I've had more issues with like deliveries than I ever have. So
crazy. I guess more people are ordering. It's crazy, but it's not good enough anyway. But yeah, then we got the enemy of my enemy, which is himself. The Doctor is the enemy of the enemy. So I guess that's about himself, and that's Audio with 8th Doctor. Then we've got the next comic in the magazine. Then we got Defender of the Daleks collection, which I'm wondering if that's
all of them.
This one
I guess,
and this one combined. So why not? That's kind of odd. Like, why would? I guess it's like.
I mean, some people just want to read them as they come out in normal comic form, and then there's like a whole kind of collection of them. Like that makes sense. Like that happens a lot.
Okay. To be fair, I've seen that with like Marvel comics and stuff. Yeah, but if I get one, I'll probably just get it here. Because it'll probably be just slightly cheaper. It'll probably work out as hopefully, maybe, whichever one's cheapest. You know. Then we've got Dalek Executioner and Dalek Strategist. Wow, they're releasing so many Dalek toys. That's pretty cool. Are these the miniature figures or are these the bigger ones?
Yeah, the miniatures.
The smaller ones then, not the. So like the new range line, not the old range, not the 5-inch.
Oh no! Well, like I said, these are. I think these are still the Eagle Moss ones, aren't they? Like like the ones I had, like the
Oh, so the good size, yeah. The better, the more detailed size.
The little like statuette kind of ones.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I think because like characters really scaled back, if that's what you're asking about. Because like I think they only. Like in terms of, especially like the 5-inch figures, they only really produce those for B&M stores, and like they have done Big Finish like sets with like Big Finish designs of Daleks and Doctors and whatnot, which are cool. But like I said, they only now really sell them at B&Ms.
Yeah. I mean, you don't see them on shops anymore. I mean, you know that whole merchandising side of Doctor Who's just changed. It's only like, you know, Forbidden Planet do you see figures. That's the only place I see it, and that's, you know, if I go to London. It's very specific now, where you just buy them online. Like, it's not like there's no like Woolworths anymore, which just has a whole toy area, and you know, there's not really shops like that anymore.
I mean, even in general stores, like I said, most of these are being like, as I said, most of the new character 5-inch figures are being sold only at B&M stores. Yeah, and so they don't have like this wide release anymore.
Yeah.
But they do still make them, and like some of the new sets they do make for them are really cool. But
yeah, so we got some of them more audios, Echoes of Extinction, which we talked about before. The Minds of Magnox, which is by BBC Audio, not by Big Finish. You can kind of tell by just the cover art style. It's just very different. It looks cool though. I like it.
Yeah.
Then we got Echoes of Extinction, which we talked about before. Mutually Assured Destruction, which I think we talked about before as well. And All Flesh is Grass, which is a book, which looks obviously the coolest. It's got, you know, 9th, 10th, and 8th in there, which is awesome. And then it looks like we're getting next March like a Time Lord Victorious figure, and then Brian the Ood, which I'm guessing is this Ood guy here. I'm guessing that's Brian. But that would be cool, especially if it's David Tennant in that Time Lord outfit. because that's the, like, out of all the artwork, that's the coolest stuff with David Tennant in that Time Lord gear. Looks so sick. I'm gutted we've never really seen any of the new Doctors kind of in that Time Lord get up yet.
No,
I think it's only Tom Baker's ever actually. Did the Fifth Doctor wear it at one point during Arc of Infinity? I don't think so. I literally think it's only the Fourth Doctor that's ever actually donned the classic Gallifrey uniform. Even the Cybermen have worn it before any of the Doctors in New Who.
Yeah, that's true.
And then there's Time Fracture, which obviously we spoke about last week. But yeah, so quite a lot of stuff on that timeline. And all from September all the way till, well, Time Fracture finishes 11th of April. So that's like, sure, over 6 months.
Yeah, of like a full ongoing narrative.
Yeah. I hope it's good. Like, imagine if it sucks. All of this for just rubbish. Wouldn't that be so depressing? That would be 2020 in a nutshell, wouldn't it, really?
I mean, with so many people contributing to this, you'd imagine that at least a part of it would be good, like, regardless.
Yeah.
Like, even if the ongoing narrative doesn't work, maybe parts of it individually will work, I guess.
For sure. I think that there was definitely some really cool concepts, especially for the for audio. For audio dramas. I mean, the Eighth Doctor is just always freaking awesome. And like, what I like is, you know, it's like the past Doctors versus their future self in some ways as well. You know, the Time Lord Victorious, which is just pretty epic, really. I'm wondering with like the crack, you know, across the word Victorious, if that is referencing the cracking time or not, because it's almost similar, but like kind of flipped upside down, or it's like part of it. I don't know. But maybe that's just just seeing something which isn't there, you know, like.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who knows? But yeah, that's the timeline. There we go. So if you want to pick stuff up, you can find this timeline pretty easily online. Or there's more information at timelordvictorious.com. We are not sponsored.
No.
So sadly.
Wish we were, though.
That would be great. Money. But there we go. So that's pretty much it. Nothing else has really happened this week in Doctor Who sense of the world. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to talk about. Do you, Conrad?
Nope.
There we go. Well, that's it. That's it for this week. A bit late. We were seeing Tenet yesterday, which was very confusing. And the more I think about
it, in terms of its content, it actually might have worked quite well as a Doctor Who story in some way.
That's what I was gonna say. There should be an episode where everything is moving backwards and the Doctor's moving forwards, and he actually solves something in the opposite kind of direction, kind of thing, so that when he gets uninverted, like I'd start the episode where the Doctor was inverted, and then because that would be sick. Like they might as well. Like it's not a copyrighted like concept. You can't copyright the concept. Obviously, if you were making it about the algorithm and everything, like, but he's got like a time machine. Like it can just, you know, do a wobble, have a cock up, so that you know he's going backwards in time as everyone's going forward, and then he's going forward as is going backward, and he has to protect his backward self. It would be interesting, but
yeah,
I think that would be like a great finale as well. I think like because that would be a very out there concept. It's just like, could they achieve everything on the TV budget? I mean, actually, to be honest, it's not that difficult to do because you just shoot everything in forward and reverse it. Like, because when they did him like getting into cars and stuff, you know, where everything should be moving backwards, all they had made sure was that the background, nothing was moving in the background. Because I remember when like the protagonist, as is called in the film, gets in the car and is getting ready to turn it on and everything. Like I was watching the background to see if anything, but it was just completely still. That's all you have to do. You just have to make sure it's like corridor-based story where you can, you know, make some mist. If you have mist in the room, all you do is have a vacuum through the vent, so it's just being sucked into the, you know, into it rather than out of it, and just do a bit of green screen stuff. But I don't think it was actually would have been too much to do actually.
Yeah, if you scaled it back from
obviously
what we saw in the movie,
you don't need all the bullets and everything. And like when you look at like is most of the budget actually on that film is just because they did really big set pieces. Like, you know, you could use that concept and use it small scale as well. You know, like for example, if you just use a Dalek, not that I think, well, actually it would be an interesting Dalek story, but like, you know, their extermination rays would go backwards to you, but they're obviously shooting at someone who's running backwards. You know, it'd be interesting to see. But I think that would be a great concept for an episode, and they should definitely, maybe in a couple of years, just so it's not straight away. But honestly, like that's a perfect sci-fi kind of idea. Like, and all you have to do is just blame the TARDIS for it. Easy. Boom. You could even do that in a 45-minute story, really. You know, half of it's one way and then you're heading back, and it's would be cool. And like the Doctor protecting himself and getting very confused. Like it would be interesting. But yeah, there we go. But that's why the podcast wasn't yesterday. It's going to be uploaded today on a Sunday because we were out yesterday. Then we were just super tired afterwards because it was a very long film and hurt my brain. And then Arsenal won the Community Shield. Hell yeah! So that was positives. So overall, a good day. Apart from rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, who obviously sadly passed away of colon cancer. And that's really, really sad. And I think it will hit a lot of people, and I don't think it's fully understood like how important he was culturally to the media landscape as the guy playing upcoming Marvel film. Oh my god, what is it? Shang-Chi? That's it. He was like, I wouldn't have even got this film if you hadn't have made Black Panther. But it's not just Black Panther. He did so many other amazing. I still need to see 21 Bridges, but completely kind of shock out of nowhere, really. And very, very sad. But so there we go. I just wanted to get that out there as a little tribute to a great guy. But so that kind of wraps up this podcast. And we're doing weekly. We're trying to start our reviews again. We're getting there. Working on some slight rebranding, and that's we talked about it more last week. So if you want to hear about what our plans for the channel are, go check out last week's podcast. And there we go. We'll see you next week, guys. Have a good one. Indeed. Oh, it'll probably be Sunday again, actually, next week, because I'm out on Saturday. But we'll see you next week, guys. Have a good one. Boy.